The most frustrating thing that I do right now, as whatever it is that I do, whatever you call this, I don't know, commentator, is not being able to explain to you what the Durham report means. I don't understand this. Let me give you an analogy first. Something that will explain to you my confusion, explain to you my anger. Not my anger. That's a little bit much, but my frustration with me. But then again, this epiphany moment where I say, I understand now. I understand. I got what's happening. And then I'm going to try my best again to explain to you, to explicate, to limn, to describe the significance of Durham, and then move on knowing that it will be forgotten in less than 36 hours. Okay? But first, before I do this, a word from our great sponsor. Well, there's no denying it. Gold is hot right now. Prices are soaring and experts are predicting even more to come. Not so long ago, gold reached its all-time high of $2,069 an ounce, and now it's inching even closer to that number again. Bank of America, one of the largest banks in the world, is saying gold will rise further still to over $2,200 an ounce later this year. So what, right? Well, gold is already a safety net for your hard-earned money. And now, when the stock market is all over the place and the value of the dollar is uncertain, being safe really counts like never before. Noble Gold is offering a 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin for any qualified IRA or old 401k rollover. Terms apply. A solid silver U.S. Mint-issued coin celebrating our national parks free with every qualifying precious metals IRA or 401k rollover. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments. So call 877-646-5347. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Noblegoldinvestments.com. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. Let me tell you a story very quickly. One of my favorite jokes, it's not really a joke, it goes like this. What's another word for thesaurus? That's the joke. And it cracked me up. And I would tell the story so many times. For years, I tell people, and they look at me and they say, dictionary? I say, no. A thesaurus is a book of names for other words. And so I'm asking you, what's the name of a book that have other names? And people would say, I don't know, a dictionary? I'm thinking, it's me. I'm not telling this joke right. It drove me crazy. Until one day, a very dear man, I'm not going to mention his name, you wouldn't know his name, but he finally got it. Oh my God. He got it. And I realized it wasn't me. It wasn't even the complexity of the joke. It was that people just didn't get it. They didn't get it. And I try to explain something, and I blame me. Well, it's my delivery. It's the speed by which. No, it's not me. It's everybody. It's just something that doesn't. It's like a frequency that people don't get. The Durham report, nobody gets. It's a different time we're living in. I'm a relic. I remember the time during Watergate when Dick Cavett would devote the entire week to Watergate. Can you imagine that today? Can you imagine Dave Chappelle or, I don't know, Joe Rogan? Honestly enough, yes. He's an enigma. I don't know what to make a film. But for the most part, no, people will not. They don't get it. They don't understand it. You had, again, let me see if I can explain this, because I blame me. It's not. You had the government of the United States, the intel agency, and for the longest time, presidents and others have always been very, very suspect of intelligence agencies. Just like the founding fathers and our forebears have always been very suspicious of standing armies. We don't really get that, but they didn't want that. I mean, John Adams, the closest he ever came, he said, okay, look, I'll maybe a navy, maybe with the Barbary Coast and the pirates, but that's it. I'm not going to have these guys, even a Praetorian Guard, maybe ninjas. No. That's how revolutions start. We know a little bit about that. John Durham issued, in essence, a limited hangout. Let me explain something to you. Let me see if I can explain this. A limited hangout. Let me just give you this. I just had this crafted and I wrote this out. And I want you to see what this says because it's very, very good. And I've got some time. A limited hangout is a term used in intel circles to describe a specific type of propaganda strategy. It involves the deliberate release or disclosure of only a partial or limited amount of information regarding a scandal, criminal act, sensitive data, or classified information. The purpose of a limited hangout is often to create an impression of transparency or criticism while withholding crucial details or the full extent of the story. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Point number 1. Durham released nothing. Nothing you didn't know. Let me say this again. Nothing you didn't already know. It's a limited hangout. It creates the notion of revelation. It creates the idea that, look at this report. Oh my God. And then he says things like what? Fidelity or transparency or whatever. He basically told you everything you knew. He mentioned Strzok and Hillary Clinton and Fusion GPS and the Steele memo and everything. He mentioned everything. So the folks, the second part of this propaganda unit, feigned reaction, are the media. Go back to Walter Lippmann. Go back to Bernays. Walter Lippmann, who gave us the term stereotype. This is classic. This, they're saying nothing. Well, today there was a report in which the transparency and the fidelity and the portion and what failed to lose and to recognize the fact that this man was indeed a president who was running, who did. And they're saying, see, okay, move along. This is like Tucker Carlson. All these Tucker Carlson acolytes. Did you hear what he said? He's been saying nothing. Well, he said uniparty. Wendell Willkie's been talking about the uniparty 80 years ago. What are you talking about? It's like, I'm not saying he's at the limited hangout level, but Tucker Carlson says nothing worth noting that's of any interest. Nothing. I don't understand it. The Twitter files. Nothing. Matt Taibbi is handed files by Elon Musk. And the American public goes crazy. Did you see this? This incredible disclosure? No. He went over part of the file. This is a limited hangout. It creates the illusion. I sound like Doug Henning. The illusion of disclosure. Nothing will happen. Nothing, no recommendations for prosecution, no prosecutions, no nothing. Two things. Do you think Durham is going to say, let me tell you something. Intel be damned. I'm going to go after this. And I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And I don't care what happens to me or my pension or my life. Nothing. I'm going to get to the bottom of this because I'm John Durham. Are you kidding me? Bill Barr? You know who their hero is? Eric Holder. How would you like that corner office? Maybe it's some nice little DC firm or some satellite. It'll be fine. So write something up that looks good. Take a lot of time, a lot of footnotes. Because we love a report. 9/11 report? What was that about? I don't know. Warren report? Oh, please. Please. Watergate was the last time we saw anything even remotely. And by the way, that was also an inside job. That was a palace coup. That was an intel. That was a get Nixon. We'll talk about that later on. Watergate was nothing compared to this. Are you following this? Are you following it? Lionel merch, by the way. Are you following this? Tell me you're getting this. Tell me you're saying, oh, yeah. And what? This is the most. Donald John Trump was the antibody that showed you. I don't want to get into vaccine talking immunology, but he is the trigger that caused everything to react. All the leukocytes and phagocytes and the white blood cells and the T cells, and they just moved in. He got a response. It's the most incredible thing in the world. You saw the full face, force, credit, the full attack of this corrupt internal FBI go after somebody they didn't like for whatever reason. Part of it's for drill, part of it's also just for the scrum, part of it's just to teach this son of a gun a lesson. Absolutely. And you saw it. You were there. You saw this. They did stuff to him. They impeached him twice. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And he wants to go back. He wants more of this. What is he, nuts? Everything Donald Trump brought in, you thought that the franchise was safe? You thought voting was safe? You thought you had this absolute, this inalienable right to protest any kind of attack or compromise of the franchise? No way. You'll be an election denier. Unless, of course, you're Hillary Clinton, who denied the whole thing through Russian interference, which is what all this is about, or you're Stacey Abrams, or one of those people. This story is of such impact. It is so monumentally incredible. It highlights the vile, fetid, feculent, rancid, putrescent, interstitial, vestigial, atomic level corruption that words simply cannot grasp. And in 36 hours, it's over. Done. Most Americans haven't a clue. No appreciation, no recognition of what this means. Think I'm exaggerating? Not even close. Not even close. All right, dear friend. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your effort. I thank you for your focus. Please remember to like this video. Hit that little bell so you're always notified of when the live streams. We do 2 a day, 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. Always do this. Always be a part of this. Subscribe to the channel. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, implore, importune, and merely ask you respectfully to comment as you see fit.